Hello children, let us come to the next topics of this, which I have already dealt in the last class. Again, to make the connectivity of that concept, I'm taking the same concepts of the land. So yesterday I had taken the land in the earlier slide. I had explained about that some of the features of the land. For example, the first one is land is fixed and it is a natural resource, and the other resources like minerals and forest produce and even water we are getting from the land itself, and it cannot be extended itself, and we can also take the multiple production on the land. So like this, some of the features some of the wastelands may be converted to the cultivatable lands. So like some features we had discussed already, and in the same way one can grow more from the same land, means obviously one can grow more crops from the same land. Using that, as already I said, that up to 1960s there was no modern methods were implemented because of the traditional way of the processing took place in the farming. There were no production was at a large level of the production was not taken. But after 1960s, as green revolution was implemented, the quantity and the quality was also, the production has been increased at vast level. So what is green revolution? Green revolution is nothing but introducing HYV seeds for the process of the production. So HYV seeds require a large amount of the water, and that is also because of the implementation of the electric tube wells, like irrigation facilities were also extended. The facilities under irrigation was also extended, and chemical fertilizers were introduced, and pesticides were also used to produce at larger level, and even the highly technologically technical the goods were also, like tractors and harvester combiners. So like this, some of the instruments and machinery was also used for the process of the cultivation. So because of that, the production has been increased a lot. 3 parts of the production was increased after 1960s. So the first states in our country, Punjab and Haryana and Western UP were foremost important states which had implemented for the first time this green revolution method or modern methodology, using this irrigation facilities at high level, and using with electricity, and pesticides, using maximum pesticides, and fertilizers, chemical fertilizers using, and HYV seeds, sowing the HYV seeds in the fields and yielding maximum yielding was approached towards this green revolution. So this was about, already we had discussed. Now coming to the, will the land sustain? What does it mean? Will the land sustain? It doesn't mean that because of using more and more chemicals and highly chemical fertilizers and pesticides at the high level, because of irrigation facilities extended a lot, all these are they favorable for sustaining the land for the future? Because we should always protect our environment, and we must make sure that for the agricultural development in the future. So the land must be sustained. We must get the fruits of the land, and not only for the present, it must also be sustained for the next generation. So because of this green revolution introduction, because of this using maximum, what were the conditions took place, and in what way it can also be threat to the land. For example, first if you discuss about that irrigation facilities, because of electric tube wells, maximum electric tube wells were used by the farmers, it is draining water from the underground. So maximum when the water is drained from the undergrounds, it is caused to the depletion of the water levels. Am I right or not? So once you think maximum, you are very simply, we are putting or switching on and getting the water and wasting the water which is not required there also. If we are draining water from the land maximum, then it causes to the depletion of the water level. Water levels can be decreased. So this is also threat to the land. And by using the chemical fertilizers, once you use the chemical fertilizers, it cannot once this, it can be dissolved in the water and it can be applied to the plant, and then the soil, it will merge into the soil, the chemical will merge into the soil, and it will not retain for the more time in the soil, isn't it? So the soil, the chemical will still drain under the ground. So then it will spoil that underground water. So because of that, the underground water can spoil, or rivers can spoil, and even the lakes also can be spoiled. So because of this also, it is a very threat to the land or even to the water. Am I right or not? Once you think, what are the points we are discussing? So in the same way, pesticides also, it's a very important the thing. Maximum level, once you use all these things, it will really threat to the land, it will really threat to the water and even to the environment, and it can also be effect to the future agricultural system. So in future, the proper agriculture cannot be taken by using. So because of that, even you take Punjab. Punjab was, as already I said that, Punjab was the first state in our country, and it has implemented the Green Revolution system immediately, and it has extended its cropping levels maximum. But after that maximum, when it was using these chemical fertilizers, that result is it has to use more and more chemicals it has to use at present to get the same level of production, because that quantity of the land was decreased a lot. Okay, so this was the condition at present going on in Punjab. So a limited way we must use all these things, but not in the extensive level. Okay, so after that, with this, how is land distributed here between the farmers in the Palampur? This is the fourth concept in this, how the land was distributed in the Palampur. As already I said that there are 450 families are there in the Palampur, but all the 450 families are not having the land with themselves. Okay, so here 1/3 people who are like 1/3 people means 450 into 1/3, that means 150 families, they do not have the lands. They are called Dalits. They are very far away to the villages. They had constructed their houses in the outskirts and the corners of the villages. So they did not have the land to cultivate. Okay, and after maximum 240 members, they are having the lands, but they are very little land. Little land means it can be below the 2 hectares land was sustained by them. Because of that, they can, whatever the crops they grow, that can be used only for their purpose, for not in the marketing way. Okay, for the marketing purpose it is not sufficient. So because of that, only they can survive with the production of the crop, but they cannot get the profit more by selling in the market. And even maximum 60 members are there, 60 families are there who can be cultivating the lands more than the 2 hectares. So they may called the medium or large scale farmers, and even in this also maximum large scale families are more than 10 hectares. The land which is contained by very less families are consisting more than this 10 hectares. So in this way, the land was separated. It is not equal with all the family members equally in the Palampur. There are the Dalits who do not have the lands at one place, and the other members who are having more and more, very less members are there, but 240 members are there who are having maximum some part of the land, but only useful for their existence only and for their survival only, but not to sell in the market. So in this way, the families or the Palampur village was existing on. Okay, so next the concept further I will explain. Okay children.